All right. Hey, we're live. Let me adjust some things here and get ourselves moving. It's late at 3 a.m., 3:19 in the morning, and we're doing a live stream. But of course, to me, it is still uh, dawn. I just woke up, I think at midnight. I woke up at 11:30. I jumped in the shower, threw on some clothes haphazardly, and came downstairs to do this debate that I promised Nick Rekieta. Nick has been first of all, Nick Rekieta, Rekieta Law, great channel. Hi everyone. All right, we got some people in here. 117 people. Hi my friends. Great to see you. Um reporting for duty, wrench in hand. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was 3 hours that went by really, really quickly. But anyway, as I was telling Nick, I was just said I kind of rolled out of bed. The first time that I did a debate on this channel was with somebody who I don't think was qualified to debate. I think he had ulterior motives. He was hoping to promote himself, and I feel like Billy the Kid in a way. It's like everybody wants to take a shot at me, and it's going to help their own career or their standing if they can just take me out. They'll become the gunfighter. I don't know, or the guy who killed Billy the Kid. So these opportunities are coming in. Go Jurify. Thanks for $2. Nice work, Caesar. Oh, I appreciate that. Um, but in this case, I didn't. I prepared for the first one, and the second one I didn't prepare for at all. I rolled out of bed. I threw on clothes. I forgot to button the buttons on my shirt. I actually turned the camera off when I got some water, and I went to go button my shirt up. I'm looking at myself, going, "Oh my god, yeah, you look like I don't know. I don't know what I look like." But anyway, unprepared for a debate and just figured I'm just going to sit down and do this casually. At this point, we're so accustomed to send a stream link. No, I'm just going to go solo tonight, Yellow Flash. I'll tweet this out though. Let me tweet this out to people if they want to come in here. Probably some of my enemies will want to come in here and check this out. It's people who don't like us. The quartering, thanks for $10. My mom said my teen years developed me into a master debater. He'll be. Did you see that, Jeremy? Were you there? You got mentioned. Heel versus Babyface. Thanks for £10. I really enjoyed the Nick and Gail Simone versus Vox Day debate. I was a bit confused as to why you were there, though, Ethan. Yeah, that was very strange. Having to talk about Gail Simone and Vox Day and justify Vox Day and explain Gail Simone. Tony Clark says, thanks for €2. Did you have a peaceful Tico sleep? I did. I got 8 hours. I've been sleeping very well lately. James S, $4.99. You have nothing to defend because what you did is defend normality. Yeah, of course. I don't know. I don't know if we ever got to this idea that Comicsgate was a racket. I was looking forward to talking about the business of Comicsgate. I thought we would actually talk about, the way that we raise money and the marketing scheme and all of this stuff. And, he would have some sort of ideas about why that, was immoral or unethical or something like that. I was really looking forward to that debate because that's a debate I'd be excited about having, but it didn't turn out to be that way. I think he wanted to kind of smear Comicsgate as in bed with unsavory characters. And, Vox Day, of course, anybody who follows Comicsgate every day or at all, has an awareness of the situation that happened with Vox Day. Indeed, if you follow Vox Day, you know that Vox Day and I are not friends. He actually mentioned me on, what's his face? Oh, shoot. What's the guy who's turning the frogs gay? Alex Jones. He was on the Alex Jones show and he mentioned me and goes, not that we get along. Or something like that. We don't get along very well, but Ethan Van Sciver, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty clear to everyone where Vox Day stands in terms of Comicsgate and where I stand in terms of Comicsgate, what Comicsgate principles are. And basically, so much of this is about this minutia about who's allowed to be Comicsgate and who's not. Is Tim Lim allowed to be Comicsgate because he did a Trump comic? And, these are, I don't know. I guess they're interesting in some kind of academic way. They're not really worthy of a debate from somebody who's outside of Comicsgate. I would think that would be a debate that we could have within Comicsgate. If we want to talk about how the reasons why Vox Day shouldn't be Comicsgate or isn't Comicsgate, but Tim Lim is. These are these are things that we should be discussing with each other. But I don't know why somebody who hates Comicsgate and thinks it's a criminal racket, he called it a racket. I don't know why this is something that a topic that he wanted to discuss, but I was just there to answer questions. I don't really have I don't really have a beef with anyone like Jason Young Bluth or whatever his name was. I don't really have any particular beef with him. I would just kind of answer his silly questions. Shannon McDaniel said, "Great job. He made a total ass out of himself." I think he was doing good at first, but yeah, I think all of his main kind of subjects, all of his main arguments were kind of deflated, and that just yeah, I don't know, that didn't end well. It didn't end well. Edgar Cruz, thanks for $2. Ethan, you must burn Vox books now. LOL. Yeah, I don't have any. I mean, this is the thing. You can argue about Vox Day with me all day long, and like I told him, I was like, this is just a rope-a-dope situation for me. Go tire yourself out punching somebody that's in the audience, and I'm just going to lean against the ropes here and watch you do it. I don't care. Feel free to make fun of Vox Day, and say whatever you want about him. I mean, I'll agree with some of it and disagree with, like, who gave Vox Day your telephone number? I don't know. I don't remember. Me talking to Vox Day extends all the way back to like last year, and I don't recall. So it doesn't matter that and again, these are things that I discuss all the time. I always talk about how I talk to Vox Day on the phone, or used to. I don't think he's going to be calling me anymore. Fan Advocacy Network, thanks for $1.99. Ethan, you're a saint. Looking forward to Rainbow Brute. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and Paragon, thank you for a $2 donation. Yeah, the whole Gail Simone thing really irritated me at the end, and I just didn't want to let him get away with it. Anyone who knows Gail Simone well understands that the kind of way that she writes, and the manipulation of that article that she wrote that ended up in the Beat. I mean, really, you'd have to be. I heard people say she's so nice, she's so very, very nice, and are people dumb? Like, you don't recognize those kind of like manipulative tactics? I mean, when you're being faced with them, like, I guess if you're predisposed to agreeing with them or the purpose of them, you're going to let that stuff slide, and you're going to believe whatever you want to believe. But when it's pointed out to you, it's I don't know what else you can say about it except to kind of nod your head and just accept it. This is the way Gail Simone writes, and the fact that Gail Simone talked as though my video about her came out of nowhere, came out of the blue, like I just woke up one day and decided to attack Gail Simone. That's just not the way I operate. I'm not interested in attacking anyone, but I will respond to people. Jamal Eigel got a nice response video today. Jamal Eigel decided to go out at Baltimore City Comic-Con, do an interview that a lot of people sent my way that was insulting. Not to me personally, although implicitly and by default it was insulting to me, but insulting to this entire community. And I don't have to sit back and allow those things to go unchallenged. That's my YouTube channel exists for me to communicate to my subscribers if I think that I am being unfairly treated, or this community that I represent every single day with my words and my time is being unfairly slandered by a goofball. I am going to respond. I'm going to respond. He didn't like the response video, from what I understand. Risey Toxic Fan Lee, thanks for $2. The end of that stream was effing epic. Don Palmera, thanks for 200 yen. Best part was when Nick went crazy. I was not expecting that. And I was like, what do I do here? What is the ethical thing to do? And I went back and forth and said, should I kind of intervene to let Jason finish his point? And then I went, no, what Nick is actually saying here is, the content of what he was saying, even though he was saying it loudly, was, this is my channel and I will do what I want to do on this channel and you will stop interrupting me. So at that point I went, yeah, it is his channel. If he wants to do this, he can do this. And I have no right to interrupt him. And so I didn't. And I just sat there and watched him become Dick Masterson, which was amusing and frightening. But that is the end result, I guess, of drinking an awful lot of Fireball, which is one of my favorite liqueurs. I have it upstairs. I have a bottle of Fireball. It's great in the autumn. I don't drink it during the summer, but you can mix it with like hot cocoa and it's great. and you can mix it with anything apple, like apple juice, apple cider, and you get kind of a cinnamon apple kind of cocktail. It's really nice. Nicholas, thanks for $5. Hey, Eaten Pie Skyvor, will you do a stream of you just eating pie? Yeah, I will. I went to the Amish market again today and thanked them for delivering the swing set and picked up a lot of prepared food. I love the Amish make great like pot roast and everything, and they have a great produce market, and they also have pies. They had a coconut custard pie that I almost bought. That Andrea was there to say, "Don't do it," and she patted my stomach, which is getting bigger. And I got it. I will not eat a pie, but I mean, I would do it if I ever eat a pie again. I will do that. Hop Crop, $2. Can I has your phone number? If you can find it. I mean, the other thing is I barely answer my own telephone anymore. Like in this day and age, when my phone rings, I'm like, who is it? What do they want? What do they? Why would you call me? You could just send me an email or something like that, or text me. The telephone seems to be going at like it's antiquated at this point. I think it's a telephone. Give another 20 years, and nobody will be using a telephone to call each other. It's all going to be, it won't be a telephone service. It'll be, all kind of internet communication. 20 years, maybe even 10 years. Yeah. Let me see. You guys are a lot of comments here. Trashfire Comics says it's like the Southern bless your heart means you're stupid. That's how the Gail article was couched. Yeah, she, the way that she wrote that was to appeal to very simple people and people who were prejudiced against me and for her. But the message came through loud and clear. And again, I don't know why all of the facts on the table couldn't be put in play. That's the dishonesty of this whole thing. It's like, just, you understand that the video that you claim to have watched that I made about you was in direct response to counter the message that you put out, that quote unquote somebody high in Comicsgate had an argument with you or told you why they were against gay marriage. Now you deliberately put that in a way, and whether you did it or not, like, I don't know if Gail did that on purpose to insinuate me or even Richard C. Meyer or anyone like that. But like, when you do that, it allows people to fill in the blanks, and it is unethical. It's immoral to do that. Just if you want to say that, you can just say, "Hey, it was this person or this person." Why would you leave it open to people? And when you say someone high up in Comicsgate, somebody who communicates with you in private, people are naturally going to assume it's me. I have no choice. As somebody who cares about LGBTQ people, wants them to buy my comic book, wants them in my customer base, I have no choice but to respond to that. You understand? I have no choice. It's not like I want to sit around making videos about Gail Simone. But when you put me in that situation and in that predicament, I have to respond. For the sake of my fans, I have to respond. So she doesn't mention that. She leaves that out, and she just pretends she was attacked out of the blue. That is who this person is. And look, if you like her, you like her, or whatever. I have no further dealings or words to say or business to do with Gail Simone. Robert Ladner, thanks for $4.99. Never bought a comic book in my life, but after listening to Jason on Mercatus stream, I'm buying Cyberfrog and all your future works just for spite. Well, I mean, don't buy them just for spite. They're actually good comics. I want you to buy them and enjoy them, and I think you will enjoy them. By the way, also, if you want to, Cyberfrog is not for sale right now, but something that is for sale, and I'll put it in the link here. Let me do this real quick. I used to actually focus on business. I used to be like, selling my own stuff. I used to be constantly selling t-shirts and selling my comics, and I just don't do that as much anymore. And it's really irresponsible of me, a father and husband, with bills to pay. So let me actually do this right now. I'm going to put this link in the description. Cyberfrog figurine. Oops. Okay. And I'll put the link there. All right, so I have a company in the UK that has produced the very first Cyberfrog collectible. It is a miniature Cyberfrog figurine. It is the first Cyberfrog product ever to be made, other than comic books. So if you want to support Cyberfrog, if you want to support me, and if you want to support this channel, and you just want a cool Cyberfrog figurine that'll be in your hands in time for the comic book to be in your hands as well this December. The link is there. It's evscollectibles.com. It's in the description now, right below the live stream here. And go buy that Cyberfrog figurine. I think it's $18. I think that's the price of the figurine. And I certainly do appreciate it. All right, so let's get back to that. Now I've done my I've done my hawking. What is this? Stephen Cruz says, you kept your composure and did a great job, sir. Love your brother. Cheers. Thanks, Stephen. I thought some of it was funny. I got angry once or twice, though. I think I got angry once or twice. Let's see. Jack Straw says, is Nick really Ed Norton's Hulk? He does look a little bit like Ed Norton. He does look a little bit like him. It's interesting. The Grim Jim 666 says, stop eating pie and hit the damn gym. I will as soon as Cyberfrog's done. I will as soon as Cyberfrog's finished. I mean, I just don't have time. I'm doing my live streams. I've got to keep the channel going. I've got to stay in contact with you guys, and then I'm just drawing nonstop and then watching Sopranos. I'm on Sopranos season 4 right now. It's fantastic. And I'm working on drawing frogs and salamanders. Michael Strelitz, thanks for £5. Hello, just saw the live chat. Loved it. What a bigot Jason is and going around in circles. No argument. Yeah, he had an argument, but it wasn't for me. I think he just wanted to smear Comicsgate as in bed with Nazis. And that just isn't, that just isn't the case. The idea that we exclude people of color or the LGBTQ community or women is also a slur, and it's a lie. Of course, we want their custom. We want their business. We love everyone who loves us, and that includes a wide swath of people. I do talk about how, for me, a lot of Comicsgate, a lot of my motivation for being in Comicsgate is the fact that I'm a Republican and feel excluded and feel often threatened and endangered in this industry. It's hard to make a living in this industry because of the way SJWs do attack conservatives, out Republicans. They do go out of their way to see that you are uncomfortable in your work or that you're made unemployable. They brag about that. They're just like, people on Twitter, specific comic book professionals, will sit there and say, we've got to make it so that Ethan can't possibly come back to the big two when he wants to. He's got to be excluded and never be allowed to work again in mainstream comics. What's that about? What's that for? Again, this is just why Comicsgate is important. And this is why we need to keep doing the work that we're doing. For me, it is. My reasons for doing this are political, but that doesn't mean Comicsgate itself is political. If anything, it is, apolitical. It's neutral. It's for everyone to join. If you are, for some reason, a left winger, a liberal, or a moderate of some sort, who just finds it uncomfortable, who finds the working circumstances in mainstream comics for whatever reason to be not to your liking, uncomfortable, you disagree with it, you just want to strike out on your own, and you want to treat customers a certain way with respect and with dignity. The respect and dignity that we offer my subscribers, our customers, is vital. I mean, it's the foundation of capitalism. It's the foundation of Comicsgate. They can't argue with this. They get confused by it. They say, where's this money coming from? Well, it's coming from you in small donations. It's coming from you guys. And this baffles them as well. For whatever reason, Comicsgate, that you want to join Comicsgate, you're welcome to be a part of it. Obviously, if you feel it in your heart, you feel like comic books are important to you and you want to see them survive, or what's good about comic books survive, Comicsgate is definitely for you. The one thing that I think confused even my supporters was when I said, I'm not trying to fix the big two. Well, what are you doing? You're not, Jason's whole argument about, hey, what you're doing isn't going to fix the big two. I'm not out to fix the big two. That's not my responsibility, and it's not within my abilities. All I can do is criticize the big two. I can tell retailers maybe something that they could unite and unionize to try to fix so that the big two will start treating them with more respect. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go over here and set my own example. I'm starting my own industry. The big two being healthy doesn't. It's nice. I hope they are healthy. I hope they sell a lot of comics, but it's not my job. It's not my job to take care of them. It's not my job to fix them or point them in the right direction. It's not my job to make them bend to my will. That's not what I am here for. That's not what Comicsgate is here for. I criticize them and then I act in contrast to them, hopefully. And where I don't, I need to have that pointed out to me, and I need to make some changes so that this little business that we're starting here can be as successful as possible. But I know that did confuse people. People are like, what's the point if you're not trying to fix the big two? We can't directly fix the big two. All we can do is just set a counterexample and create a humane, ethical alternative that will become the mainstream and force the mainstream to behave in a mainstream way again. So that is what we're doing here. Ingvi Farman, thanks for NOK 50. About your goth comments, we are under attack by SJWs also. Every time we book an American goth band in the venue, it gets a lot of noise from the US. That's interesting. Paragon 1172000, thanks for $10. Was watching the debate. He clearly was trying to virtue signal and take the moral high ground. You handled yourself with a professional demeanor. Congrats on a successful debate. I'm so glad. I'm glad that you feel that way. At a BC $2, where do we get our own Amish? I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know where the Amish are settled in the United States or in the world. I guess you're in the United States. You've got a dollar sign there. I just know they're all over Pennsylvania, all over New Jersey. They're in New York. I think they're in Delaware. And I don't know how far out they've sort of spread. I think they're in Indiana, and mostly they're just on the kind of East Coast and pushing into the Midwest. They're fantastic, fantastic people. They're a lot of fun to talk to. I kind of I get into a chit chat with them when they're at the Amish fair. They're all business, really. I mean, they keep themselves holy, but it's fun to kind of get into a little conversation with them. I do love the Amish. Fan Advocacy Network, thanks for $1.99. Ethan, are you going to the Toys R Us relaunch? I will if there is a Toys R Us relaunch in my area. I think that would be very cool. I'd love to live stream from a new Toys R Us and we'll go shopping. Ingvi Farman, thank you for what looks like $10 American, but is usually works out because we Europeans are used to the red threat like terrorism and fear OG Soviet invasion, and goths are just alternative people that want to be left alone. Oh, of course they are. I used to be a goth when I was a kid, and they're pretty fun. It's fun to be gothic. Ian Howe, thanks for $4.99. Hey boss, have you looked into what it would take to make a Cyberfrog action figure? Is it prohibitively expensive to produce? I would totally buy 3. We'll get there, Ian. A lot of people are reaching out to me about producing action figures that we could kind of crowdfund and offer and just do by ourselves. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do little things here and there. Like this figurine is really exciting. A Salamandroid figurine is being sculpted right now. That's going to be to scale, so it's going to be big. The Salamandroid figure is going to be 3 times as tall as the Cyberfrog figure. I would like to see if I could sell the license to the Cyberfrog toys to something like Hasbro or if Playmates is still around, or any of these toy companies that want to make a professional line of Cyberfrog action figures. I would like to see if that's possible. And if it isn't, or even, oh my God, Todd McFarlane Toys. If it isn't, we'll do it ourselves. Don Palmera, thanks for 200 yen. Sopranos is great, but the ending was garbage. I disagree. I like the ending. I think I understand the ending, and I think it was good. Phil Devereaux, thanks for finally calling out Vox Day for what he is. I feel like I do that all the time. But I mean, this is a thing that SJWs can understand. It's like, well, why would you talk to him then if he's a Nazi? Vox Day is a very charming guy. He's fun to talk to. I disagree with everything that he says. The same way I disagree with everything that Gail says for the most part. I disagree with everything that Dan Slott says and Mark Wade. But I did like to talk to people. I'm somebody who is social and enjoys having conversation with people that I disagree with, especially if they're fun to talk to. Vox was fun to talk to, but it turns out I think that I was being naive, thinking that Vox was kind of a friendly acquaintance. I think he was trying to manipulate and use me for his own purposes because he is a supervillain. Fuck Google too says Rekieta Law debate showed what you were up against. Yeah, probably. Milk My Man Tits says for $5, that bloke overdosed on soy and had a major case of sand stuck in his front hole. I love your name, Milk My. That's hilarious. All right, Super Divorce. Thanks for $9.99. Uncle E, please excuse the shill, but we just released a music video with stop motion monster. Harkens back to the '80s classics, new wave synth pop. Promise it's not garbage tier. Can I send you a link for a review? Yeah, sure. I'd love to hear it. Spider-Man, not Bug Boy, $1.99. SJWs can't get that we are creating a culture. Yeah. El Colonel says, what debate? Can I see it somewhere? Yeah, go to Rekieta Law, REKIETA Law, and subscribe to that channel. I assume that it is being uploaded now. It takes a little time for a large stream, like a 3-hour stream, to render, but I think it'll be up probably and completed within the next 10 or 20 minutes. It's 3 hours, but feel free to watch it. I was entertained by it, but I don't know if other people, I don't know if it's rewatchable. Maybe it is. Trevor Wright, thanks for $5. I don't think you needed to call him a jackass or simpleton. Your arguments were solid without that stuff. I didn't call him a jackass. Like, I did call him a simpleton, which I don't think is. I don't think that was a cruel insult. I think that was just pointing out to him my opinion that he was somebody who Gail Simone was manipulating. And simple people are easily manipulatable. I think he was being manipulated. In fact, I don't think Jason's a simpleton. I think he's probably a very smart guy. I don't know. I don't know him very well, but he seemed okay. He just. I think he just kind of was being manipulated by that one thing. I think that one thing was made him a simpleton. Let me put it that way. Jake Foley, thanks for $10. I was surprised to hear you call yourself irresponsible. You constantly work to provide for your family and your fan base. Stop being so hard on yourself. Toe thumbs. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, I do work hard. But I'm still supposed to be selling t-shirts and figurines whenever possible. It is my job to make sure that I promote those things so that we get the extra income that we need. So Sideshow collectibles would be great. Yeah, I agree. And not only that, it's like when somebody is good enough to actually create a Cyberfrog figurine, and my job is to simply promote it so that we can sell some, and so that I'll probably get like $4 a piece, maybe $5 a piece out of every figurine sold. I'm supposed to be promoting it. That's my job. Oh yeah, Mr. Thundaro is putting the link to this to the debate up right now, so you can go watch it. Steve Dye, $2. Hashtag Simpleton Justice Warriors. Yeah. Well, I mean, they all say the same kinds of things. I think that for the most part, their arguments aren't based on they're based on idealism, but they're also based on this kind of insular idea that you should never interact with people that you disagree with. You need to shun people that you disagree with. And as I told Jason, even after that stream, if Jason wanted to call me up and chat, he called me up and chat. I don't mind talking to people that I disagree with. I think that's a great failing of what's going on right now in social media. Social media is allowing people to set up comfortable bubbles for themselves, and people are being forced into those bubbles even if they aren't choosing to enter a bubble. They're being forced to enter those bubbles because people who they disagree with or people who disagree with them are shunning them. I can't be seen talking to you. I can't, this kind of attitude is not healthy for debate. And it makes us kind of afraid of each other. It makes us afraid to talk to each other. And it makes us afraid to just disagree in a civil way and still be able to have a cup of coffee or a beer. I refuse to be that way. There are some people who I think are toxic individuals who are dangerous and who I just can't associate with because I think they mean me harm. But if you don't mean me harm and you just disagree with me, I'm happy to befriend you and talk to you all day long. Let's see. Michael Strelitz, thanks for £2. Can you give me the address for the Figurine UK? Michael, it's in the link is in the description. You can just click on that and it'll give you all the information that you need to order the figurine. Rekieta Law, thanks for $5. Thanks for hanging out. EVS, returning a small bit of capitalism to you. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate that. Yeah, I had a great time, Nick, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know if we need to do any more debates after that, but if anyone steps up, I mean, I'll do it, or one of these other comics gators can do it. This is my second debate, and neither of them quite went the way that I hoped that they would. Like, I kind of hoped we'd be talking with the first one. I kind of hoped we'd be talking about just the fundamentals of Comicsgate, and with the second one, I kind of hope we would be talking about the marketing and business aspect of Comicsgate. Neither of which got touched on much at all. And I'm proud of the way Comicsgate markets. The things that would make someone who is on the outside looking in, who's wondering where the money is coming from, and all of this stuff. That's a conversation I would love to have, because I'm very proud of it. I've discovered late in life that I'm very good at marketing. I can market anyone and anything, and I'm good at selling things. So I didn't realize that about myself, and it's something I'm happy to brag about. Very happy to brag about. Low Res Boy says, EVS, I can debate you, but we agree on 90% of stuff. Well, let's find that 10% and hammer it out. Ricada Law says, can we please just talk about how to sell good books to good customers? Yeah, that would be a good conversation to have. Again, that is about marketing. That's about finding out exactly what it is that your customers want, what they're looking for, finding a need that they have, i.e. a comic book that doesn't insult them, and then attracting a customer base, and then giving them every reason and incentive, and making it easy for them to purchase your product. Simple as that. My comic book is great. He's like, my book is better than anything that Comicsgate is producing. Well, I can't wait until he sees Cyberfrog. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be fun. Let's see. Leodara says, the sad thing is I could probably debate you with their talking points better than they could. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. A lot of people have said, let me just represent their side. And because I mean, they get emotional and they talk about racism and bigotry and all these things that are pretty easy to, rebut. Rather than talking about, the interesting thing was, like, almost everything that I said that was wrong with the comic book industry, he kind of conceded. He kind of just said, yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, I acknowledge that these things are wrong with the comic book industry. This is unfair. The one thing he disagreed with was me saying, hey, when Marvel double ships or triple ships the comics to people, retailers have to pay the shipping costs that eats into their profits for any of the books they would have sold anyway. And he said, it's negligible. And I was like taken aback by that. I was just like, that's, what, like that kind of canny ear for business that you just displayed explains why you're living alone with your cat. I don't, I'm sorry. You have to watch nickels and dimes and quarters when you're in this kind of a business, because your profit margins are so very, very thin. Nobody has a right to eat into your business by sending you product that you didn't ask for at your expense. That is bad for comics. It's bad for comic shops. Robin Eaton, thanks for £1.99. Morning, everyone. Welcome, well done, EVS. Thank you, appreciate that. Hawk Art says, "Don't diss living alone with your cat." I did when I was 22. I had 2 cats. But yeah, you have to you have to have a better business acumen than that. You have to. Let's see. So XXSW4 Gmite 3000XX, is Cyberfrog dark? Yeah, I think so. Let me think. Is it dark? Would I call it dark? I wouldn't. I'd call it superhero. I think that there are aspects of it that are dark, but for the most part, it's a superhero comic. It definitely has horror elements to it. It is violent, but I think it's fun, and I wouldn't call it like grim and gritty. I don't like that kind of '90s thing. Not for Cyberfrog. Not anymore. I wouldn't say that. Liam, thanks for $5. I was personally insulted when he said his writing was better than anything in Comicsgate. I've had overwhelmingly positive response. There you go, Liam. Stand up for yourself. Of course, he should stand up for himself too. At this point, everybody should just say that their work is the best. That is a good way to sell it. But we're going to leave that open to the judgment of the customers, and the customers are what it's all about. The fans make these determinations. They decide what's best. They decide what needs to continue, what needs to end. And then again, when we talk about Comicsgate being a consumer-led movement, who determines who's in Comicsgate? Really just the customers, I guess. Um, yeah. Let's see. Have you heard Stan Lee is still writing comics? Back channel is freaking amazing. Interesting. No, I think I heard a little bit of that, but I haven't done any research on it. I don't know what it is. Just Add Awesome says, can we please take this conversation back to Vox Day? Yeah, let's talk about Vox Day more. I didn't know Vox Day was going to be such a important part of my career at age 44. I had no idea. He was right all along. He said, I'm going to be bigger than you, EVS, in a year. Well, I mean, at least he's a big part of my career. Uh, yeah. Can Jawbreaker's Lost Souls get published by 2080? Yeah, it can get published anywhere Zach wants to publish it, but I think I don't know. I think he's going to make his own choices about that. I don't know if there's another publisher who is going to be willing to take it on after what happened. They have pretty much smeared, your boy Zach into the ground. Here's the thing: Comicsgate has to make changes just by its very existence. We have to be so successful that the mainstream has to acknowledge us. And they are acknowledging us, but they're just kind of like poking us with a stick right now, the big two. We have to be so successful that they will acknowledge us. And it's just, Zach's books sell so well and they do so well. They're so profitable that it doesn't make sense not to hire him or not to publish him. That's what Comicsgate has to do. And I think we can get there. Robin Eaton, thanks for £1.99. Did you hear sad news about Carlos Esquera? I did hear that the creator of Judge Dredd has passed away, and we're losing a lot of greats. We're losing a lot of just big names this year, and it is sad. Rest in peace to a brilliant creator. Jason Lee wants Fabio. Yeah. R.I.P. Fabio. He died doing what he loved, being sexy. I don't think Fabio died yet. I don't think so. I hope not. Anyway. Yeah. Fabio or Chris Cross, I don't care. Yeah. Low Res Boy says, brace yourself, guys. I sense a wave of legends passing away. I'm sitting here watching Doris Day, and just I know one day I'm going to find out that Doris Day has left us, and I'm going to be very, very sad. Yeah. Let's see. Razdog says Zach is completely right by harping on the phrase "sea dumpster" to hurt him. They continue to hang it around Heather's neck and hurt her. Yeah, that is called the Streisand effect. Again, I mean, all of this is all about, they're what anti-Comicsgate is trying to do now, and what they've learned, and what I didn't understand before and I understand now, is that you really do have to ignore them. For the most part, they'll come out and they'll make false accusations against you. And like when I was originally called a Nazi, the thing to do would have been to just completely ignore it. I didn't understand this then, so I fought it. And because I fought it, it's like blowing on a spark, and then just it becomes a forest fire. And before you know it, you're sitting there dealing with articles that say you are a Nazi, you aren't a Nazi, 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 Nazi. That is a technique that they perfected, and they don't recognize when they're doing it to themselves. I mean, what they're doing to Heather Antos by constantly bringing up that one disgusting comment that your boy Zach made is they're hanging it around her neck, and they're associating her. When people think about Heather Antos, they're going to automatically think about that phrase. They're going to think about those words, even if they're sympathetic to Heather Antos, even if they love Heather Antos. By constantly bringing that up, that's going to bring that phrase to people's minds. And that is the danger of, what goes on the internet. I've learned now. I see bait a mile away. And, there are some things that I consider like, if I'm being accused of something, I'll sit there and I'll look at it and I'll go, okay, is this something I want to give oxygen to, knowing what's going to happen? Will this benefit me in some way if I give this oxygen, or will it not? And if it doesn't, I'm just going to ignore it and let it go, and it'll die. It'll get smothered on its own. But in some cases, I feel like this deserves oxygen, and if I talk about it, I'm going to get a counter message out there that I think is beneficial to Comicsgate and to myself. and those are the decisions that I make. Dex Luther, thanks for £5 or $5 Canadian. If you're ever in Montreal, Canada, let me know. I want to buy you a beer or maybe a pie. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Heather C says, can't super chat, but thanks for sticking up for us LGBT fans. Uncle E, it was shocking how easily that word slithered out of his mouth. Heart and frog. Thanks, Heather. Yeah, of course. We have more gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, queer fans than I think people give us credit for. They just assume that all of these people are going to just fall in line with the mainstream, and that's just not what happens. Some of them are interested in non-political, non-biased, fun superhero comics, and they come our way, which is great. I absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to when we can actually get a couple of really good LGBTQ creators. I'm not sure if we have any. If we have any, I don't know of them. If we have any, I'm not sure. But I can't wait until we do. And I want them to just kick ass. I think it would be great if they were great, talented storytellers who are here because they belong here on merit. That would be awesome, and it would just be more proof that Comicsgate isn't really political. It's apolitical. It's for everyone. Comics are for everyone when it comes to Comicsgate, and you can see that in everything that we do. Lord Asserman, thanks for $5. Please draw Nick going Super Saiyan 2 against Jason as Cell. His end rant was amazing. Yeah, it was. He went on and on and on. I mean, he was like, Nick was pissed. He just didn't want to be. Here's the thing about it that people need to understand. If you use that word in a hateful way, or if you use that word at all, it gets, YouTube's system quickly will break down your entire video into words, and then the algorithm searches out those words. And if it finds that word in your stream, your channel gets demonetized. I mean, that's the thing, and I've had to quietly kind of pull down a live stream or two in the past because a guest used a word that I didn't like, and I was worried that it was going to affect my channel. I don't want my channel to get demonetized. I don't want my channel to get struck. I try to, I want my channel to be a voice of truth. I want it to be my voice. I want it to speak my truth and answer my critics whenever possible. I want it to contain great, fun entertainment. I want to criticize Star Wars, and I want to criticize the comic book industry every now and then. Rarely, but every now and then. I can't do that if people are on my channel saying the FAGG word. And Nick was quite right to get upset about it. That is most likely going to pop up in his analytics, and it's going to get that entire stream, which he spent 3 hours producing with us, demonetized. He's probably going to lose a few $100s because that word exists there. So he has every right to get angry and yell at Jason for using that word 3 times when he was warned about it. He is going to be able to, should they demonetize his video, he will be able to argue and say, look, it was used incidentally and not in a hateful way. And YouTube may or may not choose to remonetize his video, but it's too much of a headache. And there are rules about going on other people's live streams, about the way you conduct yourself and the words that you say. I don't blame Nick for getting very, very angry the 3rd time he used that despicable word. And using that word and the N word, I'm always surprised at people who can even use those words academically, just kind of like in any way. Like, I can't get myself to say the N word. I can't say it. It feels awful. It feels weird coming out of my mouth. I can't. I couldn't say it. And the same thing with the F word. I can't do it. People who can do it, who claim to be against it, but who are still able to speak that word just casually. I don't know. They set off alarm bells in me. People are saying I'm a master debater. You better believe it. Rhino, $5. Thank you. I didn't bother to watch the debate. Youngbluth has an obvious Vox fetish, just like Moose Bauman. Can you give me the debate highlights? Well, you summed it up. I mean, he wanted to talk about Vox Day, and he wanted to. I think anti-Comicsgaters think I'm hiding something with Vox Day. They think that all of this is performance art, that Vox Day is secretly my best friend, and he's a part of Comicsgate, and he runs his crowdfunding site, which is for Nazis. And I don't know, somehow we benefit from this, but I will tell you, I've been above board about my relationship with Vox Day. Uh, all the time. I mean, to every degree. There's no aspect of my communications with Vox Day that I haven't made public, and there's no relationship with Vox Day that I have that I haven't disclosed or explained, et cetera, et cetera. These people, I think they all kind of accuse others of the duplicity and the weirdness and the scheming that they themselves are guilty of. So he wanted to talk about Vox Day a lot and try to dig underneath and see if there was anything there. I think he may have been satisfied that there isn't anything there, and kind of ran out of things to talk about. Petri Renbro, thanks for SEK $20. Can you say yeah, 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 yeah? Been a while. I say yeah all the time, but mostly when I'm reading articles and I'm moving on. Yeah is my way of clearing my throat or taking a breath. I've processed it and I've said it. It just comes out of my mouth now. I don't know why, but people started to notice it. It's a tick. It's pretty funny. Stephen Cruz, thanks for $5. When do you plan on putting Cyberfrog on sale again? Stephen Cruz, this is a big problem. I don't want to make any more money this year. I mean, we have made so much money right now this year. I was telling Nick, I was like, this has been an especially prosperous year for the Van Sciver family. We don't want to make any more money. Isn't that weird? We're just not prepared to do that. We're not prepared to handle the tax burden that's going to come our way from this. It's a lot, and not only that, it's also complicated. The state tax laws vary, and we have an accountant who's got to go through all this and just make sure that we're paying all taxes appropriate with this kind of money. We've had enough for this year, so we've closed down Cyberfrog for now. Next year, I'm going to be ready to make more money. January 1st, I want all your money again. So we'll be promoting Rainbow Brute. We'll be promoting Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet. And when Wrecked Planet goes on sale on Indiegogo, you will have a tier. There'll be a tier that you can buy a copy of Wrecked Planet and a copy of Blood Honey. So you will be able to get a copy of Blood Honey. You'll be able to get Cyberfrog, essentially the first book and the second book, all at once. You won't have missed anything. I'll make sure that happens. So it'll be sometime next year. Early birds, people who were here, I know it's a lot of people, it's not their fault. They just didn't know about it. But early birds who bought into Cyberfrog when it was the two times that it was being funded, those people are going to get to read Cyberfrog before anyone else. And that is the benefit of paying the extra money. Liam, $2. They say the words on purpose to hurt the stream. No, but I don't think they do. I don't think that he did. I just think that he didn't take the warning twice. When you say a word and everyone goes, no, whoa, 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 and you just keep talking and you're not listening, that is, that's the thing. And we were trying to warn him, please don't say that word anymore for two reasons. One, it's not a word that I'm comfortable using. And two, it is not a word that, when you say that word, you will possibly demonetize the stream. And Nick is doing this. I mean, look, my YouTube channel is a part-time job. I make good money on YouTube. Thank you for the super chats, guys. All that money goes into diapers for Ava. It goes into groceries. It goes into paying the electric bill. All of that. I mean, this is a good part-time job. And so I don't want people coming on and sabotaging it. And if they do, that actually hurts our bottom line. I think Nick has the same thing going on. He's starting to make a decent kind of secondary job income on YouTube, and nobody should be screwing with that. Honestly, you should respect that. Jake Foley, thanks for $2. You just made $2 more this year. Sorry. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, I can handle the super chats. I can't handle the six-figure incomes, the six-figure amounts of money right now. It's just it is a lot. But I will next year. We're going to do this again, and we're going to have. I'm going to run 2 campaigns next year. Rainbow Brute. Oh, by the way, people are asking about when Rainbow Brute is going to run. I can't do Rainbow Brute until Cyberfrog's at the printer, and I'm only halfway through Cyberfrog, and I've got 25 more pages to draw of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. It's a lot of work, and I think I can get it done by the end of the month. I'm working my face off. You can even ask Andrea. I got 25 pages of Cyberfrog to draw, and then it's got to go to the printer. It'll be at the printer all during November. It should come back 2 weeks later. We will sign them all and then ship them out. The goal here is to get them in everyone's hands, even internationally, before Christmas. But until at least the book is at the printer, I can't run another Indiegogo campaign. It's just irresponsible. It's too much to juggle. If I run the Indiegogo campaign in November, then it won't finish and I won't get the money from it until next year, until January. So that just seems like a good idea to me. Whew, do brew early winter. Yeah. It'll be November. It should be like the end of November, and then we'll run it for 2 months. And at the end of the campaign, that's when they'll unload the money onto us, and that'll count for 2019 income. Protégé, thank you. Prodigy, what a cool name. $5. EVS, the good you do goes a long way beyond comics and Star Wars. Love you, man. Oh, thanks so much. And thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. And I'm just here to entertain you guys. Super Divorce, thank you for $1.99. When will the basement get painted? Well, I don't know if I'm going to paint the basement. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't own this house. This is a rental house. And we're going to buy a house, I think, next year. I don't know if I want to, we've already spent so much money. I just put up that playground outside. It's like, we can't take that with us. That's for the owner of the house. But we've been living here for like 4 years. So it kind of feels like ours at the moment, unless I buy this house, which is also a possibility. Well, I don't know. It's not really big enough for us. We want a swimming pool. We want a bigger house. Corey Annis says Cyberfrog film directed by Michael Bay. Yeah, that'd be nice. I want a Cyberfrog video game is what I want. And people are making these Cyberfrog video games that are really, really cool. Somebody sent me, let me see if I still have it. If I can actually show it this time. Bum, bum, bum. I love this stuff. And by the way, I'm such a boomer that like video games to me, Xbox 360 is pretty advanced to me. Let's see here. Ooh, I got royalties from DC Comics. That's nice. I didn't even look at my email. Royalties came in today. Okay, let me see if I can show you guys this. This is awesome. Share screen. All right, this guy's making a Cyberfrog video game. All right, let's watch. Look at him run. Look at him jump. He curses. I love the roundhouse kick. I love the spin kick. What do you think of that? Isn't that great? And by the way, you can't hear it, I don't think, but he has Dennis Leary clips. He says, "Not in my fucking watch," and he says, "Hey, big guy," clips from Dennis Leary speaking for Cyberfrog. Really, really fun. He's still working on it. I guess you can't see it very well. You probably can't see it very well. But yeah, that kind of thing makes me so happy. And to me, that looks like a video game I would like to play. Just a nice beat 'em up game. Dorikin says, "Not bad, but can do better." Do better then. Let me see what you can do. I mean, I'm interested in this kind of thing. Let's see here. Super chats. Liam says, "Have you thought about building a house?" Yes, we've thought about building a house. We'll see what happens. I know Michael Connor says, "Come to Florida, no state income taxes." Little personal thing about us is that, okay, so Andrea was married before and I was married before. She has a daughter from her marriage who's 11 years old. I have a son from my first marriage. He's 19 years old. Her daughter's father lives in New Jersey. He used to live in Pennsylvania, but like I sued him and made him move to New Jersey, and so that he could be closer to his daughter and make it easier for us. So he lives in New Jersey. We're stuck here until she's 18 years old. And when she's 18 years old, then we can do whatever we want to do because she can do it, But until then, we've agreed to live in New Jersey and he's agreed to live in New Jersey so that she can go back and forth between her two parents. So I would love to move to Florida, but we're stuck in Jersey paying these state income taxes for the next 7 years. But it's worth it because Andrea is awesome. Edgar Cruz, thanks for $2. Said Zach signed books would delay publishing. Crazy. I know. I was like, that's not even like, you don't know what's going on. Low Res Boy, thanks for $5. EVS, tell Ricada to bleep out the F words before uploading his stream. I can bet my soy trousers that Jason will try to flag the stream. Yeah. The Iron Omega, thanks for $5. You're the best, Uncle E. Your entertaining voice is good to have on while I paint my Warhammer figures. Yeah, I'm the same way. I like to listen to other people stream while I'm drawing. And just it's fun to just listen to people talk and have conversation and discuss whatever. YouTube has taken over television. It's replaced television for me, except for right now when I'm watching The Sopranos. That, yeah, Rookie Critic, $5, was feeling a little down, but listening to you is cheering me up. I don't have a clue why, though. Maybe it's the tone of voice and the talk of success. Oh, okay. Yeah, cheer up. Things are good. Things are really, really good. And there's every reason to be happy and optimistic about the future. There's no reason to feel down. We're right. I mean, the great thing about Comicsgate, I'm very confident because I believe in my product and I believe in Cyberfrog and I believe in Comicsgate. Those are my products. I can sell anyone on Comicsgate because I know we are ethical, just. We have a great argument, and we have every right to exist and do what we do. I don't think we're hurting anyone. I don't think that those arguments go anywhere. And it's fun, man. It's fun to be kind of like, I see myself now as like a little Stan Lee, a little miniature Stan Lee in 1961. I mean, that's a fun thing to think about. Like, okay, the industry is toxic politically. Like, think about the 1950s and Seduction of the Innocent and Frederick Wertham and, the Comics Code and all of that. And then, the way comics sort of buckled under and became sort of just, the Silver Age, the early Silver Age. And then think about somebody like Stan Lee, who was just kind of an anarchist and came out and said, look, I'm going to do comics my own way under this, politically, oppressive system. I'm going to do my own comics and I'm going to start things out in a brand new way. And it's fun to think about. That is what we're doing. I mean, the comic book industry is politically oppressive right now. It is repressed. Everyone's afraid. Everyone's hanging on to a declining market. And we show up and just say, we're going to do things our own way. We're going to create new comics. We're going to make them succeed. We're going to market them in a way that's different to the way comics are being marketed now. And we're going to encourage people to join us in our success. And people are seeing great success. I'm so proud of like Antonio Bryce and Brand. I mean, that comic book Brand is going to, he's edging up on 50 grand, I think, $50,000 for his comic book, his first issue. I'm so proud of John Malin, who's going to hit six figures soon. Mike S. Miller, who's going to hit six figures soon. I'm proud of these guys. Doug Tenaple was having trouble finding work. We got him. We dusted him off, encouraged him to create something new. This is the guy that created Earthworm Jim. And all he needed was a little bit of an encouragement, a little bit of stability, put the ground underneath his feet and say, create something new for the fans. And he created Bigfoot Bill, and I love it. I love Bigfoot Bill. And so do the fans. They gave him $107,000 for the first issue. I haven't even looked at it lately. I'm sure it's more than that now. That's life-changing money. I mean, that's an opportunity to do something new. And then when we see people in need, who need our help, like Mark Probst, we can rally as a community. We can raise money for him, make sure that he is not evicted from his home, take care of his son, and actually get the ground under his feet so that he can do comic books again too. That is the power and strength of this community, and I love it. I love talking about it. You can send all of the soy-based weirdos my way, all of the blue-haired land whales, to argue with me about the strength and merit of what I'm doing. And I will argue every single time that Comicsgate is moral and just and good and ethical. It is what the mainstream of comic books should be and isn't. And that's why we exist and will continue to strive and thrive. I mean, Jesse N, thanks for $2. Saw you on Mercado Law with Soy Jason. Oh, good. Yeah, that's what we're talking about now. Mega Jetty 1 says, thanks for $5. Star Trek fan films are halted by CBS and Paramount. Their copyright contracts violate First Amendment free creativity. Why are they not being arrested for this? Um, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess CBS, I guess, and Paramount own Star Trek, and they have a right to. Uh, I don't know. I'm sure they have rights under, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how that would work. I think Nick Rekieta would be better at answering that question than me. But I would assume that I wouldn't be allowed to make a Star Trek fan film and then try to make money off of it, or so. I would automatically assume that I'd need permission to do that, but I could be wrong. Steve Dye says hashtag big house with a pool for Aunt Andrea. That is what we're trying to get. That is what we're trying to get here, and I think she deserves it. Lord Dankington, thanks for £2. Painting my Warhammer now as well. I love listening. I should try to paint a Warhammer figurine. That sounds like fun. Yeah. My nose, I'm really congested. I don't know why I'm congested this morning. EVS, can't wait to see you do a cameo in a near future Cyberfrog movie. Thank you, Tatooine. I would like to see that too. I would love to be in a Cyberfrog movie. I'll be the mailman or something like Stan Lee does. That would be fun. It would be a pleasure. Video game first, though. I want that video game. Conspiracy in Comics, thanks for $10. I appreciate that. I'm making a comic called, quote, A Song of Mice and Fur, unquote. It's like Discworld meets Animal Farm. You can read the whole graphic novel, search, quote, A Song of Mice and Fur on Webtoons to find it. So look on Webtoons for, I'll say it again, A Song of Mice and Fur, F-U-R. And and check out Conspiracy in Comics' new book. Darth Vetter, Darth Vetter 04. Thanks for $9.99. Big Pimp in EVS. If I donate my extra 2 copies of my 1996 Harris Comics Cyberfrog issue #1, will you sign and mail back my OG Cyberfrog comic collection? I don't offer that service just yet, Darth Vetter. I've just got too much on my plate. I've got, and I don't have a PO box yet. I will endeavor. I think when Cyberfrog is out, I gotta hire some help. I really need to hire some help. I'm acknowledging that now. Help. I need to open up a PO box, and I need to be able to respond to fan requests like that, as long as they're kind of reasonable. And I think asking for your book to be signed through the mail is reasonable. Let me think about that a little bit, Darth. Okay, and thank you so much for the super chat. Sierra Whiskey $4.99. Uncle E. All of Comicsgate has inspired me to do my own book. I've got a great story in the works, and I'm hoping to find an artist in January. Thanks. Well, this is a great community to find artists, Sierra Whiskey. We've got lots of artists who are available. And then we've got guys like Mark Propst, like I mentioned before. These are professionals who can't get work anymore in the mainstream. And why not? Why wouldn't we lift these people up and give them work on a book for Comicsgate, let them make a little money? And somebody like you, a writer, has access to these professionals who the mainstream industry has kind of left behind. I think it's a great idea. Good luck to you. Good luck to you in January. Wow, £50. Michael Strelitz, thank you so much. That's a lot of money. Mr. EVS, can you not sign Cyberfrog and come to the UK for a private signing at Scott's Collectibles? I want a CGC from you. Welcome, you will be. I have other comics and Flash. Consider it, and we are not going to attack you. Just a thought. Yeah, well, I don't do much traveling right now. Because I have a young child at home who needs me, and so I don't really get out much. I think eventually, maybe in a couple of years, I'll consider getting out and traveling. I would like to show Andrea more of Europe. She's only been to Belgium. I would love to show her, Greece. I'd love to. She wants to go to London terribly. Eventually, maybe in 2 years or so, and especially once the entire Cyberfrog saga is completed. I will accept offers to come to other countries and sign comics there. And I would definitely love to see you, Michael. And thank you so much. £50. It's very generous. I will be spending that on diapers for Ava. So thank you. She's, very kind of you. Django Menko, thanks for $2. Get Jeremy Fine on cartoon Rekieta stat. Oh yeah. Oh, I got you. Jeremy Fine, please animate Nick Rekieta's rant. That'd be funny. Jeremy Fine does really good computer animation. and it's very funny. He does good caricatures, and he should definitely animate Nick yelling at Jason. I think that would be very funny indeed. Chicken Bone, thanks for $2. I'm jealous. Working right now. Need to paint my kill team. Yeah, kill team. So that's Warhammer. Boy, Warhammer's cool. I like everything. I like the way Warhammer looks. I would like to learn more about it. Honestly, I really would. I'd like to learn more about Warhammer 40K. Toy Bounty Hunter says, considering Cyberfrog is aware you created him, wouldn't you just play yourself in the movie? Yeah, I think in the old comics, Cyberfrog was fully aware that he was a comic book character and that I created him. That was he always kind of broke the fourth wall. He's not going to be breaking the fourth wall in these comics anymore. This is going to be I think the old 90s comics represent an attitude that has been stripped away by what's happened with the invasion of the Vespers. So he's no longer going to be breaking the fourth wall. He has forgotten that I created him, and now he is fighting these bugs, which is what he was meant to do in the first place. I'm excited about this book. I think it's great. I'm really excited about Cyberfrog, but I got to get this thing done. I got to get this book finished. All right. So, Boag, thank you for 20 pesos. Invite Arch Warhammer for a lore chat, Uncle E. Well, I would feel pretty ignorant. I don't know anything about it. Like I don't know anything about Warhammer yet, and he would have to teach me everything. So, yeah. But I want to have more people on here. Ricada Law, thanks for $5. Every book behind the whiskey is 40K EVS. Wow, okay. Hit me up if you ever want to stream Warhammer. If you ever want a Warhammer stream. Well, again, I'd have to learn, but yeah, that's cool. So you're a big fan too. Darth Vader 04, thanks for $4.99. Play Star Wars Legion. I'm painting Boba and 3 units of Scout Troopers as I listen as well. Also looking forward to painting the Cyberfrog Mini. Oh my gosh, yes. Order the Cyberfrog Mini figurine. The link is in the description below. It's $18. And please, I want to see painted versions. Those of you who are really skilled painters, who are good at painting these Warhammer figurines, and I remember painting old Dungeons and Dragons figurines back in the 1980s, so I think I could do this. But I would love to see what you guys can do with this unpainted Cyberfrog figurine. Would love to see that. That would be great. Yeah. Nick Selstrom says Vox Day did nothing wrong. Lord Asserman, thanks for $2. When you go 40K, get Asserman. I'm not biased, honest. Okay. Yeah, everyone paint those Cyberfrog figurines, and the Salamandroid figurine is coming as well. I would love to see that get painted. It'll be fun. God, that'll be cool. That's the great thing about Comicsgate. Again, for me, just first of all, the fan art is awesome. And by the way, some of the fan art that I'm getting is professional, and I want to hire these people. There's one guy in particular. I'm gonna have to consider hiring this guy. And also the video games. People making amateur video games. Just incredible. I can't believe you guys are able to do this. It's like magic to me. Making video games is magic. I don't understand game programmers. You guys, game developers, programmers, you guys are amazing. Razdoc says, I'm getting Kyle Ritter to paint my Cyberfrog. I'm sure he'll do it. Oh, that'd be a good idea. That'd be a good idea. Robin Chang says, lots of cheap wasp figures. Yeah, I'm going to have to get them to make a whole, like you should be able to buy the wasps in like a 5-pack of wasps in different poses. I think that'd be good. Toy Bounty Hunter says, I heard a rumor that you've thought about doing a Super Sentai, aka Power Rangers inspired comic book. Is that true? Yeah. Right now it's titled American Manga, but it's not. That's not what it's going to be called. That's just the idea behind it. It's taking the idea of a bunch of guys who are really good at making vehicles that turn into weapons, that turn into a giant robot, that form it like that kind of thing, and making it sort of happen in the American Midwest, in these places where they do robot fighters and things like that. That's the general idea. And it's being worked on sort of, but I'm also working on another book called Fearsome, that I'm All Caps Comics is going to basically hire creative teams to do my ideas. So that is, that's one of the ideas that I want to do. Danny, Agent 87, Salamandroid deserves a dedicated one shot. Yeah, he's going to get one. I think Salamandroid is going to get his own one shot. that explains where he was, what happened to him in the intervening time that Cyberfrog was hibernating. Heather is going to get one too. Heather Swain is going to get one. And by the way, the Heather Swain, the Heather, oh my gosh, can I say this? The Heather Swain book about where she was is going to guest star. In fact, it is going to be a team up with a pretty well known group of comic book animals. All right. I don't know. Is that vague enough? Might be too specific. Heather was helped by this group of creatures. So it's going to be a crossover. And I love this idea of using toys or using characters from the 1990s and bringing them into this world, and making this all have happened together. All of these characters that interacted in the 90s, they were there in the 90s. They were there with Cyberfrog, but the Wasps killed them all. So you guys can think about it, and I'm sure you'll come up with what it is, but it's going to be pretty fun. All right, so yeah. I guess with this, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a quick breakfast. I've been awake for 4.5 hours, have not eaten yet, and I'm going to get to work. Yeah. Oh, did I tell? Oh, I told you guys already. Okay. All right. Yeah, I said it in a stream. All right, that's fine. Yeah, it's the adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. They are going to be guest starring in the book with Cyberfrog and Heather Swain. And yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll do more stuff like that. But thank you so much. Thank you for all the super generous super chats. I really, really appreciate that. That money does go to, it goes straight to groceries. It goes straight to paying bills. It goes straight to buying Ava diapers. And you guys, thank you for making this a fun part-time job of mine. I appreciate it. I hope you're entertained by my channel. I'll continue to do it. We'll continue doing Comicsgate. If we need to debate these people, we'll debate these people. We'll argue forcefully and passionately for what we're doing and what we believe is right. And I will always do my very, very best to represent you well. And I know that you're a diverse and intelligent and lovely group of fans who deserve respect. And I will fight to make sure that you get that respect from the comic book community. And welcome to Comicsgate. Thanks again to Nick Rocada for tonight. If you didn't watch the debate, go over there and watch it now. And I will talk to you guys sometime tomorrow. I'll probably make a video or record a video, and then I will do another live stream tomorrow afternoonish. Okay. All right, guys. Good night. Bye-bye.